Okay.
Hello, everyone. I am Lynn.
I'm Jane. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel.
We have, it's been a busy week. I didn't get as many videos out last week as I usually do. Sorry for that. I do want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to all of our new followers. Thank you for being here. We're so excited to have you. All right, ma'am.
We are doing a look at the week ahead.
Oh, yep. Look at the week ahead. Today is March 23rd, 2025, and we're going to look at the upcoming week through the 30th of March. So take it away, ma'am. All yours.
Okay. Well, I am using my traditional Rider-Waite deck, and I have been playing with a tripod and camera. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. I'm just a very slow learner. So,
You will just
what
hold your cards up to the camera and we'll be good with that.
I will do that. Okay. So, when I read for general purposes, I think of that topic. And so all I had in my brain was what's coming this week? What's coming this week? And I was feeling the energy from the big rally that AOC and Bernie Sanders held. And so my reading, unexpectedly for me, because I don't usually do politics, is politics. The signifier that came up is the Nine of Wands. And this guy, this dude here, is ready for battle. He's not afraid. He may be a little battered, but behind him stands an army. And the army is we, the people. It is life, it is growth, it is change, it is challenge. And we stand ready to embrace this new challenge in our lives. That's where we are today. We are crossed by the Eight of Swords, not reversed, straight up, the hoodwinked woman. And that is power wielded corruptly. It is all that that entails, where we've been bound and gagged, hoodwinked, lied to, which is quite literally, I believe, the definition of hoodwinked is to have been tricked. So for all the people who thought they were voting for positive change, who thought that eggs would become magically less expensive, and thought the economy was going to benefit them better, they feel lied to. And that is the energy crossing us right now. It is the fact that they now feel betrayed by the one they voted for. So corrupt power crosses our army of hope and positivity. What we have to reach for, what our goal is, the highest and greatest good is love, abundance, celebration. The fact it is power with, there's no leadership here. This is a triumvirate. You can think of it as the three parts of our government, right? We have a bicameral government. We have the executive, we have the legislative, we have the judicial. None is more powerful than the other. They are equal. And this celebrates that equality, the Three of Cups. So it's also we the people in all of our differences. We are all equal. None is more important than the other. The wealthy are not more important than the poor. The homeless are not less important than the ones who live in mansions. We are all equally important. What we have to draw upon, the power at our disposal. This is the Queen of Cups reversed. And some readings paint her as a good woman, others paint her as someone not to be trusted. But it's my belief the Queen of Cups is one who has enjoyed both the comforts of all the finer things in life and the one who has lost them all. She has experience. She is loss and she is hope, all combined into one. She is rational, but she's a dreamer as well. So this is our foundation. This is the fact that we know what loss feels like. We know what being lied to feels like. We also know what love feels like and what gifts feel like and what gratitude is like and selfishness. We embody the human experience. That is our foundation, every one of us. Energy passing away. The Two of Cups. Please note, I have a huge preponderance of cups right now in the current environment. And the caduceus, the healing, I believe that is us reconciling to the pain that we've been experiencing, that we are healing each other, we are healing our hearts from the hurt we've taken. So that's an energy passing away. And what comes to bear now is the Ace of Cups reversed. And the Ace can be a card of loss. It can also be a card of power wielded corruptly. Be prepared. Buckle up. This is an energy that's going to try and buck the system you and I believe in, the system that is to treat us all equally. This is deceit. Listen for the lies. Maybe watch, hear what they say, but watch what they do. That's the big thing. Watch what they do. That's where the truth lies. Okay. Ourselves, as pictured throughout life, the Two of Wands. We are hopeful. We look at the world and we want a better one. We want to embrace the world. We want the cultural exchange, the knowledge exchange, the physicality, the ability to travel. We want it all. And to some degree, in our day and age, we can be instantly around the world. We can hop on an Android or an iPhone and go to Google Street and walk down a street in China. So the world is literally at our fingertips these days. Our environment throughout our life is the King of Swords reversed. And this is the ability to make change, the ability to sometimes make change before we think about it. And I always think of that wonderful line Malcolm gives in the original Jurassic Park movie that, yeah, you figured out you could do it, but you didn't stop to think if you should do it. Words to that effect. I'm not quoting them directly because copyright. Our hopes, our fears for the future, strength. We want to be strong enough to meet what comes at us. We are. We just have to believe that we are. And the future as it arrives in the next 0 to 3 months, beware of this guy. The magician is a trickery. He's very trickery. He's a tricksy kind of guy. He's smart. He's cunning. He's creative. He seems to have it all, but he's a liar. He's don't look there, look here. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. I have a thought of who this might be. It is the one who seems to actually be running our country that isn't the president, nicknamed Starboy.
You mean Leon? I'm quoting Libby from Meister Tarot. She's named him Fleon, Fleaon.
An anagram with an F, of felon 45. Yes.
No. Flea. He's a
He's
flea.
a flea on.
He's a flea on society. He's a flea on society.
I like that.
I do too.
That's really good.
Fabulous. Livy is fabulous. Just gotta say.
Okay, then using the name Fleon, he's the one to watch the next 0 to 3 months. He's the real power. We have a figurehead in Felon 45. What he's saying and what people are doing to make him happy goes on. But the one who's actually making things happen is Fleon. So be careful. This is in the next 3 months. After that, things start to change. And I know this is supposed to be a week ahead, but being the curious cat that I tend to be, we become the Queen of Wands. We are knowledgeable and experienced with liars. We can see through the lies. Where we choose to dwell, the environment in our lives, we as female are family oriented. It is where we start our lives, is within a family. Even if the family is simply the mother and child, that is our strength and our home. Our hope or fear for the future. We have a lot of faith placed in leaderships. And generally, the Hierophant is somebody you can be sure will act appropriately. So we hope the courts act the way they should, that they're faithful to the Constitution. We hope our leaders are telling us the truth. And that is the hope for the future. He is number 5 in the major arcana. That is a very strong card. And bringing us down to our 3 to 6 month time period. Here we are, the army that stands behind the leader that is opposing the problems. And we're going to start off a new journey. We're going to start with a new set of rules, and they're going to be rules of our creation. This is the 0. It is the only card in the deck that is the major arcana that is not technically numbered, because 0 is nothing, quite literally nothing. It's also the first step of the journey. So this guy, this person, this female, whomever, society as a whole, we are going to be making some changes that are going to start us on a new path forward. And I think that's fantastic. Now, I could go further. I did it out to a year, and I like the direction it's all going. It's all very positive. So I'm not going to go into details. I'm just going to draw it at that, because we're supposed to be looking at a week. And my week turned into 6 months. So with that, Lynn, I'm going to mute myself. You take it away and tell me what you've got going.
Okay, so I am looking at the upcoming week using the Trish James predictions deck, and she has a new stock coming into Monday, March 20th, and she's got one set of cards left that I don't have, that I'm hoping to buy tomorrow. Anyway, okay, so not that I'm at all excited about these things. That's right. That's right. Okay, so um I use I'm using the predictions deck and am taking a look at the upcoming week. My husband just said, "Really?" from the living room after my doodle loot. And he should know by now that I'm goofy and I'm fun and serious when I must be. So I'll be serious
Even
for a
Micah
moment.
was laughing at your.
Uh, Micah is her bird for anybody who's new to this. All right, so let me take a look. Let me focus and get serious. Um, whew, so the housing issues in big cities are going to this is going to get some attention this week. And I'm not sure how or why or where, but that's going to surface. It's going to get attention. I know that with AOC and Bernie, both of them tend to look at those types of issues. And there were big rally this week. Was it Colorado? Were they in Colorado? Is that where they were? Do you know? They had like 34,000 people show up to attend that rally.
I do
That's
not know where it
okay.
was. I
Okay.
did not have the opportunity to see all of it.
Okay. That's fine. Um, anyway, so the next issue that I see happening is their volcano um eruptions, and along with that is that we have. So this card is called Worldwide Earth. And as I'm holding it, I'm feeling that it's not just weather issues, it's also earthquakes and volcanoes and weather. And then the farming industry card is with it. And I'm feeling that there's a two-part to this. Number one, farming chemicals, especially here in the United States, um, are very poisonous to us. whether they want to say it that way or not, but they're not great for us. Um, and I feel like we're going to find that those chemicals have leached into the water and are affecting us. The other issue that I see here is that there's going to be climate change impact on the farming industry, and that's going to draw news this week as well.
I think I would look for information on rainfall. We're having an unseasonably warm March, and we've had a very dry winter. We live in the Midwest. We're the breadbasket of the United States, if not the world, out here. My 2 cents.
Agree. Um, Next, with regards to commercial airlines, there's been a good deal of strategic planning happening through the FAA to find a solution to the problems that have been occurring over the last few weeks to reach this good outcome. I don't know that this is going to fully take effect this week, but I think they're going to have an answer for the issues that have occurred. Um, so a couple weeks ago, I talked about the very strong possibility that banks were going to get hit with ransomware. I'm still feeling that banking and currency issues are going to be a problem. They're going to be problematic. If you notice in the background of this card, it is all kinds of money falling, but it looks like it looks like the buildings have fallen down too. Even though technically they have not, it just looks like, to me, this reminds me of the stock exchange, 1929 stock exchange drop. Yeah,
The stock market crash
yeah.
that led to the Great Depression.
Um, I get the sense that we're going to see a drop in the stock market. It's not going to cause a Great Depression. It may lead to a recession, but I sincerely think that our stock market has been heavily manipulated by the felon in the White House and his cohort Fleon. And if you look at the Tesla stock, that in and of itself is a real picture of what I mean. Because it's gone up and then it dropped and then up and then it dropped. And considering that Fleon is the head of Tesla right now, even though the shareholders are calling for his resignation, shareholders and board, I believe, are calling for his resignation, he has to pick. Either he heads up Tesla or he works in the government. He cannot do both. But keep an eye on the stock market, keep an eye on your bank. Highly suggest that you change your banking passwords if you have not done that recently.
I would tack on, if you have not also added, you should add two-factor authentication to your logins.
Agreed.
Makes it much harder to hack.
Yep, agreed. Um, Next, I've been seeing this for a while now, some kind of a health crisis. I don't feel like it's going to be pandemic, but there is going to be a broader health crisis. And um, so and that's going to be big news. This card is Health Matter. Ooh. All right, so pandemic and health crisis is going to be big news. This one, Health Matter, I cannot definitively say if this is the felon or Fleon or both.
or RFK Jr.?
That's possible as well. I don't get him though with this.
He's the
Um,
head of HHS.
oh, I know he is, but this feels like an individual health matter. It looks like Fleon as a young boy, but my feeling on this card is that it's both of them.
Are you sure it's not the measles outbreak in Texas?
And Kansas and Iowa
Yeah,
and Missouri.
all the unvaxxed.
Hmm. In all the red states because they believed um, the anti-vax propaganda.
Yeah.
So, that could be the health crisis. That could be the health crisis issue. That is going to continue to be in the news and continue to be headlining the evening news, the national news. But this health matter card, that
That's
feels like
interesting.
that feels like that feels like either the felon or the fleon or both. We'll see. I don't know what these
Funny if they
are.
get measles. Just saying.
Oh my God, now I have the giggles.
Sorry. I'm muting myself. I'll stay out of this.
Um, I know that a number of psychics, Linda G and Mel Dore, I think the Cool Crone and possibly Susan Lynn have all said something about, and even Rosie of Rosie Insights, Rosie and Karina, they've all talked about the possibility of there being something big happening in one of the big cities. Um, and when you say that and somebody lives in a big city, it's like, do I need to be worried? Where can I be where I'm safe? Because I got more time here. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a definitive. I don't have, I just I'm sensing this card. And actually, when that came up from them a few weeks ago, it felt really strong. And this card is feeling, I think this card could go one of two ways. One, this could say that threat is gone. Um, but there's a qualifier to this. This could be one of the last ditch efforts of the felon and Fleon to stay in control. They could use this as Presidential War Act opportunity. If we get them, if they see justice before that can happen, before they can make that order, and I do firmly believe that if anything does happen, they are behind it. If we get them before they can make that order, this will not occur. If we don't, the damage will be done. Will there be consequences for it? That's a good question. Okay, so that is part of my upcoming week reading. This is a big two-parter. I pulled cards. I've explained how I pulled cards out of my deck before, and that is I just sit here and I close my eyes and I tell my spirit guide, tell me yes or no. And I drop a card that's a yes, and I pull, I hold the nose and I put them over to the side. So I drop the cards that say yes, and the spirit guide said, yep, to all of these. Like, this is how many I have. Whew, let me just say. busy week. All righty. Um, so this set is all about the felon and Leon. Um, we have corrupt dealings, no surprise there. We have evidence of those corrupt dealings because there were security cameras. Um, somebody, Fleon, has been our shadow ruler. He's not very much in the shadows. He wants to tell everybody that he's there as a supporting role, but nope, he's actually ruling. Tension is escalating. Somebody is going to be their fall guy or woman, and they're going to feel very betrayed and backstabbed. Although I will say that we as the public feel betrayed and backstabbed. They're going to call it fake news in an effort to control the narrative.
Could there be a
Alrighty.
falling out between these two?
Not yet. I mean, not enough that it's going to stop the Fleon from being.
Well, we know how fragile the felon's ego is. If he figures out everybody has understood Fleon's the one in charge, he's going to get upset and throw his temper tantrum.
Yeah, he already did get upset about that.
Yeah, but he's
But,
not done.
huh?
He's not done with that.
No, he's not. Um, I think about the felon as somebody who has been bought and sold, and bought others and sold, and bought and sold, and bought and sold.
Yeah, and I
So,
believe that he actually was the deal was Fleon would finance him completely, utterly, however much he needed. In exchange, he gets to be the Shadow King.
yep,
Fleon
I think
does.
there's that, but I also highly suspect. Let me ask the pendulum. Let me see if I can get the pendulum to work this way. Mm, mm. Sorry, folks. I got my arm in the window, in the camera. Um, so this is my yes. This is my, oh, there we go. This is no. Stop. Did Fleon buy? Oh yeah, you already know what I'm going to ask. Did Fleon buy evidence from Pootie Boy? And the answer to that is yes. And
Interesting.
so, um, there's been talk over the many, 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 many years of a PEE tape.
Compromise.
I
Compromise.
have I have never thought of it as a PEE tape. I've
Me
thought it
either.
as the letter P tape
More likely.
because there's other letters,
And
that
deposition.
that
There is a
belong
deposition. You may look it up. It's online.
of Katie Doe or Katie Johnson. Katie Johnson. Is that
Jane
the one that
Doe.
you're
Katie
there?
Doe.
I know there's a number of Jane Does, but there's also Katie Johnson. And I've read
That's
her
awful.
suit. It was a court filing. And I will tell you this, that if you're watching this and you go hunting for that online, be forewarned,
It's triggered.
massive, massive trigger warning. Um, Massive trigger warning. It is brutal.
Yeah. The P tape, the P letters, the P friendships, the P relationships, I should say, between the felon and a bunch of other felons is pretty widespread. And
So here's the other thing that has been with me all week, and I've asked this of my pendulum before, and I'm going to ask it again on camera now. Is Jeffrey Epstein still alive?
seriously, that is not a question I have ever entertained. I mean, we've got the Andrews brothers. What more do we need? Or is it Anderson? Andrews.
I'll just leave it there. I've
Okay,
got a reading.
finish
I've
your
got,
reading.
yep, I've got a reading. No, I'm done with this part, but I've got in my head, I've got a reading to do on JE and the felon and the Fleon and how they all go together. I do believe that Ghislaine knows that JE is still alive. I also know that she wrote a book while she's been in prison and has not published it yet. And I suspect that she fears for her life if she does. You know, there are some things you want to
Well,
touch
she
and
can't
some things you
profit off
don't.
of her crimes. So
Right? Exactly. Yep.
if she writes
Uh-huh.
a book and profits off the crimes, it's going to go to the victims.
As it should. As it should.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That's what we have for the week. Thank you all for
Gonna
being
be
here.
busy.
It's going to
Buckle
be
up, buttercups.
we've said that all the time, but I do want to say make sure you take time for your mental health this week. Just lean into the news and then step away from the news. And I'm grateful that you're here, but I also know that this kind of discussion can be very overwhelming. And so please do take gentle care of your mental health. Do something that you love and enjoy. Breathe that deep breath in. Here we go. Deep breath in, relax, let it all go. Imagine something that brings you joy, whether that be the love of a child or a partner or an animal, working outside in the yard, touching the earth, running that dirt through your fingers.
Soak in the
Connect.
sunshine. There's going to be a lot of sun this week.
Yep, soaking up
Good sun.
sunshine, feeling that brightness on your face, and knowing that with that sunshine, truth will always come out. And whether people see justice for their actions in this lifetime, or if they face justice when they pass over, it doesn't matter. It's we have responsibility for our lives, and they are responsible for their actions.
We can only take control of ourselves. You can't change other people. You can't put words in their mouths. You can only be responsible for yourself ultimately. So be good to yourself, folks.
Right.
Please treat
Yes.
yourself kindly.
Yeah. All
We love
right.
you.
Yep. All right. So, Jane, take us away.
Quoting the great Carl Sagan, you are made of the stuff of stars and a little bit of magic. Believe that.
You are far more powerful than you realize, and you are profoundly loved. Hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you in our next video. Um, Jane and I are about to record a second video, I believe. Still on?
Yep.
Okay. And it's going to talk about where Jane's been this past week or two.
Yeah.
Weeks. And then I'll be recording some more videos to come out later in the week. I also have a meditation of clearing your chakras, and that'll be out this week as well. So, all right. Thanks again.
Right. Blessings, everyone.
Right blessings. Bye now.
Bye.